Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about my labor and delivery and birth story. So I'm super excited to share the story. A lot of people in my life have been asking like play-by-play of what happened. So I tried to tell them in detail the best I could, but it was a lot to text and everything, so I figured I would just share my experience and hopefully it's helpful to some people. My baby is sleeping over there if you hear little coos or whatever. But yeah, so I guess I will start. I'm filming on my phone right now. She's making little noises. But I'm filming on my phone right now because honestly, I'm just too lazy to go upstairs and grab my camera and an SD card and a battery and all that. So I was like, I'm just gonna set up my phone and just roll with it. Okay, so I guess I'll start from the beginning, obviously. So basically, I woke up on Sunday, June 28th at like 6:30 in the morning to stomach pains. And by stomach pains, I mean contraction. It felt like my whole lower half of my stomach, it just felt like super tight. It was tightening and then it would stop. And then it was tightening and then it would stop. At that point, at 6:30 in the morning, I would say they were around between 10 and 15 minutes apart. And then, so I finally got out of bed and I went to use the restroom and I peed. And when I wiped, there was blood. And I looked in the toilet and I had dropped my mucus plug. Sorry, TMI, y'all. But basically what that means is it's like your bloody show. That means you are either A, in labor, B, going to be going into labor fairly soon, or C, I don't know what C is, but basically it's a sign of labor. So I didn't know if I was in active labor. I didn't know what was going on. I know they say to, walk to go into labor. I was going on a lot of walks with my husband and our dog. So I woke him up obviously and I was like, oh my God, like I'm bleeding. I dropped, my mucus plug and blah, blah, blah. Called my mom, called his mom to just let everyone know what was going on. I probably should have called the doctor first, but first thing I did was call my mom. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like my mucus plug fell out, like da da da. So she was like, okay, like calm down, call your OB. So I called my OB and she said, what they always say, it's fine that your mucus plug fell out. Just monitor the contractions. And once they're 5 minutes apart, you don't have to call back. Just come straight to triage. Come to the hospital basically. So at that point, like I said, that was probably like 7:30 in the morning. And then Iji's making cute faces. I'll show her at the end of the video. So yeah, that was like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. And then the day just went on. I ended up downloading a contractions app. So every time I had a contraction, I would start it and then time how long it was and then stop it. So I was keeping track of the contractions all day. And then it got to the point where they were, I would say like 6-7 minutes apart, which was kind of late in the day. It was probably like 7 p.m. And then they just stopped. For like a good hour, they stopped and I was like, you're kidding me. Like this is false labor. And mind you, I was due the 4th of July and this was June 28th. So it was like a week before my due date. So I was like in so much pain. I was just ready to be done. I was uncomfortable. It was hot as hell out because it's, June, July. And I was just over it. And I was like, if this is false labor, like I'm going to be really upset, whatever. So they stopped and I spoke to my mother-in-law, which she is a mom and baby / labor and delivery nurse. They told me, her and my sister-in-law told me to take a bath because that produces the natural Pitocin chemical hormone in your body. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's something, I don't know, but it produces that natural chemical of Pitocin to naturally go into labor. So I took a bath. I probably laid in there for about an hour and I got out of the bath and I got myself together At this point, it's probably like 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock at night. So I got myself together, threw a little bit of makeup on, curled my hair, made sure all of our bags were packed and downstairs just in case, because I didn't know what was going to happen like in the middle of the night, because like I said, they were pretty much subsided at this point. So I still got myself together just in case. I went downstairs and had a little snack, and then me and Jason were just like watching TV, and then they came back. So at that point, it was probably 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then, like I said, they came back, and they came back strong. When I say strong, for a good like half an hour, I was literally holding my bump, just like, ugh. Like, I couldn't even speak when I was having contractions. Jason was like, you know, are you okay? Checking on me. And I'm just like, I like can't even respond. So yeah, it got to be like 9:30, and they were probably, I would say like 6-7 minutes apart again. And she just wants to be held apparently. So I can't even remember where I left off, but I think I was saying that my contractions were like 6-7 minutes apart, and it was like probably 9:30 at night. But the difference was that they were so painful and so much stronger than they were throughout the rest of the day. Oh, what? And I just couldn't breathe. I was just uncomfortable. They hurt so bad. And Jason literally was like, screw the 5-minute thing, because they were like 6-7 minutes apart. And he was like, we're going to the hospital. So he loaded everything up in the car, and we left here around like 9:45 p.m. And we made it to the hospital. It was so quick. You know, they took our temperature before they let us into labor and delivery. We had to show our IDs. I had to fill out like a couple pieces of paperwork, which like honestly was kind of annoying because I was the patient, so I had to fill them out. But I was like contracting at this point 5-6 minutes apart, and I was in so much pain, and I was like, I can't even concentrate like on this paperwork. But we got through it, and then I went to triage. You know, I had to put on the gown, and they had to put the belly bands around my bump to monitor the contractions. They hooked me up to the machine, and I had a blood pressure cuff on and all, you know, that fun stuff. So they came in, did all that. We heard her heartbeat on the monitor the entire time, which was so fun to hear. I loved hearing her little heartbeat all the time. And they were, of course, monitoring her heartbeat, and then they checked my cervix to see if I was dilated, and I was 100% effaced, which means my cervix was completely thinned out, ready to go. But I was only at 2.5 centimeters dilated, which was kind of discouraging. And I was like, as soon as she said 2.5, and I was like, no, I was like, they're gonna send me home, like, because that's not very far along in pregnancy, or in labor, I should say. So at my appointment, which was that past Tuesday, I was 1 centimeter. So I did go up 1.5 centimeters. And so I went up 1.5 centimeters. So again, like I said, I was discouraged, and Jason's like, don't worry, blah, blah, blah. So she left, the nurse in triage left, and then she came back, and then she was like, don't be alarmed. Like, this is completely normal, but the baby's heart showed a deceleration on the chart whenever you had a contraction. So there was just a little tiny dip in her heart rate, which she said was completely normal. During contractions, there could just be like a little bit of pressure on, you know, the cord or whatever. You don't really know exactly what it was. So she said, in that case, we will not send a patient home who is showing a deceleration in their baby's heartbeat during a contraction. So I got admitted, which I was so happy about. Oh my goodness. What? Is mom ignoring you? You say hi. You say hi. So they admitted me, which I was very excited about because, like I said, I didn't want to go home. I feel like that would have just been the worst thing in the entire world. Like being in that much pain and contracting at that point 4 or 5 minutes apart, being sent home and being like, oh yeah, you have to wait. So yeah, that would have freaking sucked. So at this point, it's probably midnight. We're in the room, or probably not that late, but so we like get admitted into our room and we get everything set up, and I'm in my hospital bed and everything, and they're taking my blood pressure and blah, 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 doing all the normal stuff. So my contractions were pretty bad at this point, and they're like, when do you want the epidural? And I was like, girl, I want that as soon as possible. So, like, now. So by the time they came with the epidural, well, actually before the epidural, I had to get tested for COVID. So my husband had to leave the room, and the woman, the nurse coming in to do the COVID test, was in like a hazmat suit, and she asked my husband to leave. He could not be in the room while I got tested. Let me tell you something about the COVID test. Please wear your masks. Just stay home, because honestly, the COVID test in itself, let alone probably getting COVID from being stupid, the COVID test is awful, okay? It honestly hurt worse than my epidural. I'm not even exaggerating, for me at least. She stuck this pipe cleaner metal looking thing. Literally, it felt like it was all the way up here. It felt like my brain was being tickled and had this brain freeze. This whole part right here was just cold and burning, and it was just awful. So please, just, you don't even want it. You don't even want to get tested. Anyway, it was awful. It was probably one of the worst parts of my labor. I'm not even exaggerating. It was probably up there with the contractions. Okay, I'm moving on from that because I could just go on a whole tangent. But so I got the COVID test, and they said, okay, your results will be back within 4 hours. And that was a whole nother thing. If I got tested positive, then my baby would have to go to the nursery, and I wouldn't be able to see her, you know, face to face for like 2 weeks. So of course, the last couple weeks before I was giving birth, I was super vigilant to be, you know, quarantining, and I was barely going anywhere besides my weekly doctor's appointments, because could you imagine holding a child for 9 months and then delivering them and then being like, sorry, you can't see your kid for 2 weeks because you have a deadly virus? Like, no, it's just not worth it. So got the COVID test. Husband came back into the room, and then probably like a half an hour to an hour later, it was around midnight, and I got my epidural, which was amazing. It didn't hurt for me at all. The numbing needle, the actual needle, didn't feel anything. So it was great. The anesthesiologist who did it was fantastic. Didn't hurt me at all. And then, yeah, we just kind of rode from there. After the epidural, Mama was feeling great, and I kind of just laid there and just chilled, and I was just watching stuff on my phone, in and out of sleep the whole time because I had the blood pressure cuff on my arm the whole time, so that would go off literally like every 5 minutes. It was so freaking annoying. And yeah, so I was in and out of sleep the whole time, and I was trying to sleep as much as I could because, oh, bless you, because I didn't know when I was going to be giving birth, obviously, and I was going to be exhausted. Who knew the next time I would have been sleeping? So, oh, you just making noises. You just making noises down there. She's laying right here. So I was in and out of sleep, and then she kept coming in. Bless you. She kept coming in to check to see if I had dilated more, blah, blah, blah. So then the first time she checked to see if I was dilated after the 2.5 centimeters, I was 4. And then after that, I was 6. So I went from 2.5 to 4 to 6. And then when I was 6 centimeters, I think it might have been morning by then, maybe like 4 a.m. I can't really remember the timeline just because there was just so much going on and I was just so sleepy. And so when I was 6 centimeters, she decided to put like a peanut ball in between my legs. So my legs were, it was in between my legs, so they were like open, and they were trying to physically open up my cervix naturally. So I laid like that for a few hours, and then I think I was still at a 6 the next time she had checked my cervix. And she was like, okay, if you're okay with it, we're going to give you some Pitocin, which is the drug to speed along induction, speed along the process. So she was like, you know, if you start feeling pressure down there in your bottom, like you have to go to the bathroom, or if you get like the urge to push, you know, press the nurse button and give me a call, blah, blah, blah. So I was at a 6, and then she gave me the Pitocin, and almost immediately, maybe just to me it felt immediate, I'm not even sure how much time went by, but I felt that pressure she was talking about. And then, hey guys, future me here. I just realized that I never mentioned this in this video. Watching it back, I was like, but so yeah, when I was at 6 centimeters and started feeling that pressure from the Pitocin, the OB actually came in and decided to break my water. So then she put it up a little bit higher, the Pitocin drip, and that was almost immediate. Maybe like 20 minutes later, I was calling her back and I was like, I'm so sorry to keep like annoying you. I was like, I am just still feeling all that pressure you were talking about. And then she checked me and I was at a 9, which was super exciting. And at this point, I think it was probably, it had to have been like 9:30 in the morning because I gave birth at 10:46 a.m. So it had to have been like 9:30 in the morning. So that was just all night of her coming and checking me and coming and checking me, and it was a long night. So at that point, it was like 9:30 in the morning. Like I said, they had already done shift change, so I met the new nurse and everything, and she was great. And it was time to do some practice pushes. So I had the nurse on my left and my husband on my right, and we were doing practice pushes. They were each holding a leg, and I was holding underneath my legs like this, and you know, chin to chest, and I was trying to breathe as much as I could in that stupid ass mask. Which, wear your mask. I'm not saying don't wear a mask. I'm just saying it was very hard to breathe during labor in a mask. And you know, it was 10-second pushes. Probably did that for about 20 minutes, like the practice pushes. And then the OB came in who was delivering me. She was great. And she introduced herself because I actually had never met her. There's a bunch of OBs in my practice, so I never got a chance to meet her individually before I had gone into labor. So she came in, like I said, and was great. And she talked me through it. And she said, you know, it will probably be about an hour until we're really ready to push. And because I was still at a 9. So then she had left and I was still practice pushing, blah, blah, blah. And then she checked me, the nurse checked me again because I was still feeling that like pressure, like big time. And I was at a 10 and I was ready to start pushing. And that was only like 20 minutes later. And the OB came back and she was like, oh, wow, that was like really quick. So it was time to push. And when I started pushing, man, I don't know if it was the pressure or if the epidural had just worn off, but I felt everything. I couldn't feel the contractions, but my baby physically coming out, I felt everything. And it was painful. I'm not sure if it was pressure or what it was, but I felt, oh no, your bow fell off. I felt everything and it was painful. So worth it, but so painful. And then she came out and I had a baby. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. After that, you know, they did her weight and everything, and she was 8 pounds 10 ounces and super healthy baby girl, and she's perfect, and we're so in love. And it was just, for me, it was a super easy pregnancy and a super easy labor and delivery. Yes, it was painful, but honestly, what they say is true. As soon as your baby is put on your chest and they look you in your eyes, and I'm gonna start crying, you just forget about all the pain and the contractions, and it's just so worth it. And I'm over the moon, and so is Daddy, and we love her so much, and she's just amazing. She's been the greatest baby we could ever ask for. She is perfect, and I may be biased, but I'm allowed to be. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for labor and delivery. It was really easy. I only pushed for a total of 20 minutes. I can't even remember if I said that or mentioned that, but they were like, oh my God, I can't believe you pushed her out in 20 minutes. Like, no first time mom ever does that, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's normally an hour plus. So they were impressed with my pushing, which I was like, it was only 20 minutes, because for me, it felt like 2 freaking hours. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it was great, and I can't wait to do it again in 3 or 4 years and give Amelia a little baby brother or sister. Uh-oh, your pinks fell out. And here she is. It's kind of hard to show her on camera. There she is, my perfect baby. Mom's perfect baby. Oh my goodness. Can you say hi? Whoa. Can you say hi? Look at how pretty I am. Are you going cross-eyed? Are you going cross-eyed? Look at how pretty my baby is. I'm so sorry, my baby voice is so annoying, but oh, I just can't not. I just want to love her so much. And we do love her so much. Can you say hi? Say hi. I'm Amelia, and I am perfect. And I am perfect with my big blue eyes. Oh. Did you just wave? Did you just wave? That was so good. You are so smart. Oh, Violet's coming over to check out what's going on. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my birth story, my baby's birth story. And now she's here and she's perfect. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. That is it. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but whatever. This is my birth story, and I hope you enjoyed. Say like and subscribe to my mom's channel, and then you get to see my cute face. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching and hearing our birth story, and I don't know what video will be next because I never get a chance to film anymore because I'm taking care of this girl. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time, okay? Bye. I wanted to get to anywhere.